Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. The Dallas Cowboys can't keep ignoring important position. As we inch closer to the NFL draft in April, the Dallas Cowboys have made a handful of moves. Most are a head-scratcher, but I liked the additions of Dante Fowler and Jack Sanborn. Still, this team needs plenty of work if they want to compete for anything in 2025, we all know that. The Washington Commanders are only getting better, and although the Eagles' roster seems to have taken a hit, they still have the core group together who helped them win it all a season ago. With that said, I just don't like the offensive side of the football for the Cowboys. Of course, I love CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson, and like Dak Prescott, not love or anything. He can win enough games, but not worth the contract, but you have to have a QB in this league. We know that. CeeDee Lamb is the only guy on the offensive side of the football that any team as of today would have to worry about it. Brandon Cooks is a free agent, and the number 2 on the depth chart is Jalen Tolbert, followed by Jonathan Mingo and Paris Campbell. We know what Cavonte Turpin is and what he brings. Yes, the only wide receiver they have signed thus far is Campbell, last week. Drafted by the Indianapolis Colts in 2019 as a second-round pick, Campbell flashed potential early on. His peak came in 2022, snagging 63 catches for 623 yards and 3 touchdowns solid, but he has never reached 1,000 yards in his career. Nearly every team that will compete going forward has a true number 2 guy that has eclipsed that total, or will get it for them in 2025. Tolbert is a guy alike, but can he step into Cook's role and produce at a higher clip? I hope so, but we have to see it first. I strongly think the Dallas Cowboys will draft a wideout, but when? Clearly, Tetairoa McMillan is the best wide receiver in the class, but the chances of him getting to the Cowboys at 12 are slim to none, but if he does and the Dallas Cowboys don't take him, they have no idea what they are doing. People are on the fence about Luther Burden from Missouri. I think he is a first-round talent, but it is so hard to tell if he is worth the risk for the Cowboys to take him at 12, so that likely means they would take one in the other rounds. Jack Beck, a 6 feet 2 inches guy from TCU, could be on the board for Dallas in the second round. Between LSU and TCU, he had 133 receptions and only 4 drops. Cowboys blockbuster trade pitch moves Parsons to hated rival. The Dallas Cowboys have made some questionable moves over the past decade. Failing to win a Super Bowl, the pressure continues to rise for a Cowboys organization expected to win every season. Dallas has players, such as Micah Parsons, who make them contenders. However, Parsons is an interesting name to look at this offseason. He wants a long-term extension, and rightfully so, after proving to be arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. If the Cowboys can't come to an agreement with him, is trading him possible? Some seem to think so. Joe Giglio of the 94 WIP Midday Show proposed a deal that would send Parsons to the Philadelphia Eagles, adding that Jerry Jones might just move players at some point. If the Dallas Cowboys traded Parsons, most fans would be upset. Trading a generational 25-year-old edge doesn't make sense, especially if the Cowboys plan to contend in the near future. Despite the question marks on why the Cowboys would move him, Jordan Schultz of Fox reported that there have been murmurs about Parsons potentially being traded. For weeks, there have been murmurs about whether the Cowboys will actually give Micah Parsons a record-breaking contract, or if a trade could become a possibility. It still seems far-fetched, but with the market now at $40 million per year, this situation is one to watch, Schultz wrote. If the Dallas Cowboys move Parsons, it'll likely be due to him wanting an amount of money they aren't willing to give him. After Myles Garrett signed a $40 million AAV deal and Max Crosby landed a 3-year, $106 million deal, Parsons' price only went up for the Cowboys. However, Nick Eatman of the Cowboys doesn't believe Parsons will get as much as Garrett, adding that landing a deal like Crosby's is more likely. I think it's probably good to know where the ceiling is, and that contract seems like that would be the top. I don't see Parsons going over that. Sure, Garrett is older, but he's a little more accomplished even after his first 4 seasons in the league, where Micah is currently. I do think the Max Crosby contract is probably going to affect Parsons' contract more than Garrett. Crosby getting a 3-year extension worth $106 million has to be the floor for what Micah will be asking for. I can see a Parsons deal now fitting somewhere in between that, Eatman wrote. That would be the best scenario for the Cowboys. Cowboys given extremely exciting QB option amid latest exit. There's no getting around the reality that the Dallas Cowboys are going to need a solid backup quarterback for the 2025 season. Just look at what happened last season, when Dak Prescott got injured and was out for the long term. Now, Cooper Rush has officially left Dallas and will serve as the backup for Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens, and Trey Lance will probably be out soon, too. That leaves one quarterback with Dallas, and that's Will Grier. That makes an additional backup quarterback a need, not a want, and it's likely the Cowboys will find one in the 2025 draft. In a feature published Monday, March 17, by NFL analyst and expert Mike Poland for blogging The Boys, Poland lays out a handful of quarterbacks he thinks could fit with Dallas coming from the 2025 draft. His number 1 pick is Kyle McCord of Syracuse, calling him a solid fit for Dallas as a developmental backup. So, what puts McCord above the rest? Poland raves about the player's strong arm, experience in a pro-style system, and ability to handle high-pressure situations. McCord was first with Ohio State before transferring to Syracuse. There, he played in high-profile games, showing flashes of being a capable pocket passer with good decision-making skills, according to Poland. At the Shrine Bowl, McCord was easily one of the highlights during the week and proved he was no fluke. Poland thinks McCord would be a great fit with the offensive plan for the Cowboys that will look to add more play action, and adds that the player's deep ball accuracy is extremely exciting to watch. He adds, with the Cowboys' strong supporting cast at wide receiver, McCord could thrive as a long-term backup, and when called on to spot the offense if needed.